Welcome to the Maritime Vision podcast. I'm your host, Paul Wioli. In each episode, we bring you exclusive interviews with maritime professionals, industry experts, and students. Our guests come from different backgrounds, including shipping, yachting, offshore, supply chain, and more. Our goal is to give you all the knowledge you need to succeed in the maritime industry. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maritime Vision podcast, and today we are with Christophe. Hello Christophe, it's a pleasure to having you today. Can you present yourself and talk about your background, please?
Thanks, Paul-Louis. I am Christophe Briere. I am French with a French accent. Currently I am in Los Angeles, Lorient, in South Brittany. My background, I am a mechanical engineer. It was 13 years ago. I worked for offshore sailing race in the design team. After that, I moved to the French Polar Institute. After that, I moved in logistics and oil and gas and marine logistics. And 3 years ago, I started a project of startup. The name was Polar Sea in order to build some expedition cruise ship with a low impact on low environmental impact, and where one of the target and one of the way to reduce this impact was to use the wind propulsion. And now I'm starting consulting activity with Veli Consulting, and I could speak more about that.
Yes, thank you for a very big background actually in the maritime industry. Why did you choose the maritime industry? Maybe because you are based in Bretagne and I know this is a good spot for sailing?
Yeah, and I fell in love about sailing, sea and ocean when I was young, and so yeah, and I am a sailor also. That it's an important thing. I cross Atlantic 2 times, and one time with mini transat. It's a sailing race on a 21 feet vessel where you are alone across Atlantic. So it was a nice experience. And so yeah, I am a sailor addict, and use the sail to participate and to support the decarbonization of maritime transport. I think it's a good thing.
Combination, yes, sure. I mean, your background is completely quite related to what you are doing right now. And to switch, so now you are like working in Veli Consulting. Can you tell us a little bit about Veli Consulting?
Veli Consulting, so we are a consulting firm where we are several freelance. So we are two main freelance. It's Louise Chopinet. She works previously for WindCop. It's another wind propulsion project, and myself, Christophe Briere. And so we help and support organization and company to develop and to start some new project linked to wind propulsion, and we provide some service on that with the knowledge we have, Louise and myself, and if we don't have this specific knowledge, with the network we have from the several years in this industry, we go pick up the right knowledge about aerodynamic or financial engineer, or to build the best offer and support the customer on some financial topics, commercial topics, or technical one. We are not we don't go as a technical engineer in a detail things like DNV or Bureau Veritas or something like that, but we are here to provide more large. The scale is wider than only technical part. I don't know if I am clear, Paul Louis, but
Yes, you are. You are.
yeah.
I mean, you
Okay.
you are very clear. No worries about it. But the thing is that you are quite niche down because you're doing only wind energy. I mean, not hydrogen. Your focus this is this technology in comparison with other consulting firm, for example.
Yes. Why is that? We are sure that the market of wind propulsion, it's just the beginning of this market. And as you can see in the news, maybe not every week, but every month you have some new build of wind propulsion vessel. And
Yeah.
we are focused on that, on the way where we are sure that it's one part only, but one part of the global decarbonization. And there is enough project, enough work to have a specific consulting firm about that and linked to that. The objective of the VD consulting is to be the leader on this specific market, this specific theme and world. On the way
Very
where
interesting.
there is already many other company specialized or with more knowledge than us about hydrogen, ammonia, and
Yeah.
all other kind of technologies. But on the wind propulsion, I think we know very well what's happened, and what will happen in this sector.
You have a real expertise in this field, which is quite demand. We need, I imagine the demand is quite high, and especially in France. I noticed, for example, we developed many ships using the wind. For example, we have Canopé. This
Yes,
vessel was vessel of the year, for example.
exactly. You have Canopé, you have the two vessel from TOWT. You have also a Grand Sail, and after that, it's maybe the problem of the French. They forget, and they forget that there's some other country, and
Yeah.
many things happen in north of Europe, in Netherlands, Finland. And there's many countries where many things happen, and we have to be aware of what's happened in North, in Spain also with Bond for Blue, and in China also. So there's many projects in France and in west part of France where I am based, and it's interesting, but many things that happen in north of Europe, and we have to be focused also of what's happened in Asia, on the way where most of the new build are in Asia too. Alors, they are not leader for innovation, but after that, they are very hard player and strong player to have some financial deal, and yeah, and
Okay.
we have a big view, a big overview of what's happened around the world, and not only in France.
Okay. Yes, I've seen you are doing quite market analyze.
It's important on the way where innovation comes from Europe most of the time, and one of the big challenge in the next few years will be to understand how you keep the innovation and how you how you switch the innovation where it's only a prototype as an industrial series after that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, completely true. But Christophe, now I want to ask you more discussion about, wind propulsion. Can you describe the challenges you have right now and opportunities, of course, by using wind propulsion for the maritime industry?
Alors, there's many challenges. The first is to convince ship owner and freight forwarder and all the supply chain that they have to use the wind propulsion to as a key in the decarbonization. Where the important things, it's something reliable, uh, available now, currently, and also to convince that at the end you will save some money, you will save some cash because you will use less fuel. It's not only because you are environmental convinced by that. For sure that it's important, but the way you go speak to the ship owner, it's I will come to save some money for your company, and in addition I will save some money, and it will be good for the planet and for your business. So it's a win-win.
Yes, for
That
sure, for sure.
so that it's one of the challenge. The other challenge, it's the problem of the wind. It's a non-permanent energy. When you use the engine with a diesel engine, you are sure of what will be the power of the engine, and you are sure of how many how many cube of fuel or you will use. Where with the wind, if the weather is with you, you will save a lot of energy. If you don't have any wind, or if the wind is non-efficient for your direction of your vessel, it will be less efficient. So, but you have the same problem with the energy market between the solar and wind energy. If you compare that with coal or nuclear, and that it's a challenge. And after that, it's really a new and young industry with some new technologies where we don't have a lot of experience on that. So the ROI, the return investment on this kind of technology, it's still complicated to have a
To
clear
implement.
view on that. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. But do we have like, because I know the wind can be your best friend, but your best enemy as well. How can we like anticipate it? Because of course it's the biggest challenge, I think, wind dependency. How can we avoid this issue?
What is interesting, it's the comeback of the weather forecast and the routing in the shipping industry, where the last 50 years, it was only to go from the point A to the point B. It was the direct line, the most the fastest way. Where currently now we'll work with the weather and the weather forecast to make the best routing in order to have the wind and the wave with you. And now with that, you will avoid to have some wind against you, and or not efficient with your kind of technology of wind propulsion. And the routing will be critical, and at least not more important that your wind technology, but you have a strong improvement to be done, and something who could really help you to save some fuel. So the weather routing is something you have to connect that with your wind assistance.
Okay. So I think using digitalization can be quite, the link can be quite relevant.
For sure, and it's linked with that, and linked also. It's why we are not a competitor with also some new new fuel. We are linked to that, and we add some value to all the other technologies. And we are not in
Okay.
competition with. We are only we add something.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. So right now, currently in the market, what kind of mature projects, existing projects, you already talk about it, like a canopy, grain
Yeah.
de sel, on the toy,
Yeah.
TOWT.
Exactly.
Uh,
Uh,
so what other?
There is many other technologies. You have the most reliable one. It's the one you will see on the sailing boat in the marina
Hmm.
with some normal sail used uh, for 1,000 years, and that it's efficient if you have some vessel more or less 100% with sail. But it won't be possible to use this kind of sail on some big vessel. After that, you have the rotor Flettner technologies. I think Paul Louis, you know that it's a cylinder, and this cylinder
Yeah.
turn, and you save some energy with that. You will not save a lot. It's between maybe 5 and 20%. One of the problems also between all these technologies, it's to compare when one with another one on the way where there's many way to calculate how much energy you will save and how much fuel you will save, and to compare one technology with another one. On that, it's a nightmare. But there's
Yeah.
many company, many people who work to find like a kind of a protocol to compare one technology with another one. Um, and on that, so rotor sail, it's the main wind propulsion technology installed on board of vessel. It's that. You have a good experience. We have a good experience on that, but you don't save so much. After that, you have some
Hmm.
rigid wing sail that it's Bartek technology is using that, and some other. Uh, After that, you have so soft sail system. It's what you will see on Grand Sail, TOWT, and all the sailing yacht.
Other
Yeah,
alternatives. Yeah.
soft wing sail, so it's canopy, for example, or Wizamo, it's inflatable wing. You have
Hmm.
so that it's interesting technologies also. Ventilated foil system, it's not directly a rotor Flettner, but it's a rigid wing, and you will take some hair, some wing, some hair and some wind from a part of the wing, and you will send that to the other side of the wing, and so you will use a bit of energy to provide you a lot of energy after that. So it's that in
Okay.
a retrofit. You have Bond for Blue, you have EconoWind. It's the two main player on that. Um, and after that, you have also some kite system. Mainly,
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it.
you have air seas with that, and you have beyond the sea. Kite surf, it's interesting for retrofit.
Okay. And how can you decide which one of those technologies are the best? Do we have like one, the top one, or it depends the kind of vessel, the kind of part in the world you sail?
Yeah, so it's the problem and the advantage of there's not only one way,
Choice.
and some technology will continue to be together on the market on the way where depends of which vessel you will have. technology will be better than some others. For example, the container ship, the container vessel, they have the constraint. They have to go in some specific harbor with the crane, and they have to unload from a specific way the vessel. You don't have this kind of problem with a gas carrier or where you don't have any crane, where you will have some this crane or some different crane on a bulk carrier. So you won't have the same technologies, and also on cruise ship it will be also different. So you will have some constraint, and depends of the specification of the spec you will have at the beginning. Do you, if it depends of all the specification you will provide. Do you want to continue to go at the same speed? Do you, if you accept to reduce the speed a lot, some wind propulsion technology will be better than some other. So to be honest, it's really difficult to give you a clear answer on that. Is it for a new build? Is it for a retrofit? And also the return of an investment it's on 5 years, 7 years. Which risk do you accept also? So sorry for that, but I won't have any clear answer
Yeah.
to say that okay, it's the rotor flattener technology is the best. All the others you forget that. And the way
No.
to choose, so it's to have a clear view of how you will use the vessel, what will be the main route you will use, and which kind of wind you will use, and after that you can ask to some specific company like Blue Wasp or DICE or CO Rocco to build your vessel in a numerical world, and to make some calculation after that with some different technology, and they will run some weather they will take all the weather the prediction the last 20 years on your route, and they will run all this calculation with your vessel modelized in this calculation with different technologies, and they will see okay, now there is a X% of chance that this technology will be the best, or this one, and you will choose that
Okay.
also with the price of the technologies. And it's one of the problem. It's there is still some major difference of cost between first a technology one and technology B. And I spoke. There's many things. Excuse me. I have to
Go.
go. But one of the problem, it's most of the technology now. It's supported by a startup, and the startup ship owners. It's a problem for the ship owner who will do the maintenance of the system if the startup in 5 years that doesn't exist. And
That's a good
that
point. Yeah.
it's something where they are afraid sometimes to go in with some young project on the way where your system will be installed for 5, 7, 10 years on board of the vessel, and they have to be sure that the contract they pass with the startup will be still running in 10 years, and with the guys to be able to do the maintenance of the system. And I wasn't really clear about that about previously, but it's a strong disadvantage for some new company, and so it's important to work with some strongest company, or to be in deal with some bank or something
Okay.
like that, for example.
Yeah, very interesting. We'll come back about finance part a little bit later. But now I want to ask you the question of I mean, wind energy. I mean, of course, you have hydrogen, you have methanol. Can you compare and say why, for you, you think that wind alternatives are quite more realistic and easier to make to implement?
To make some green hydrogen, you take the wind, you send the wind in the windmill farm in order to make some green electricity. With the green electricity, you will make some hydrogen. You will stock the hydrogen in some tank or something like that. You will transport that, and you will load this hydrogen in your vessel or something like that in order to use this hydrogen in your vessel to use that as a propulsion. So you have
Yeah.
the wind at the
Yeah.
beginning and the end is here. Where with the wind propulsion, you are directly on the ocean with your vessel and you use directly the wind here to use as a propulsion of your vessel. So you are quite more efficient, and it's a huge gap of to be more
Mm.
efficient to use this energy. It's why
Good point. Yeah.
it's important and why it's it's the energy is directly available where your vessel is. It's the only energy available directly where the vessel is. For sure that you have
Yeah.
to use that. You cannot use that for road transport. You cannot use that for air transport. But here you just use the energy on your
Yeah.
vessel, and it's not against other new fuel. And currently, when we spoke about hydrogen, ammonia, ethanol, methanol, and all this alternative e-fuel, they are not available now, or they are not available as a industrial capacity, and so in order to use this carbon, there is no supply chain for that yet. Where for the wind, it's directly
Yes.
available, and I am sure that hydrogen, methanol, ammonia, and all this kind of new fuel, they will have a success, and they will help, and they will support the global decarbonization. But currently, and so we have to continue to develop and to work on that. But currently, the wind is directly available outside. I am in Brittany.
Yeah.
We have some
Yeah.
wind 10 months per year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, that's good. And even we can still use wind propulsion with
Exactly,
hydrogen and methanol, because the thing is that
exactly. It's
yeah, if we implement this kind of vessel,
yeah, it's no, but
go
yeah,
go. You want to
we
say?
don't work against the other solution, and it's why also it's wonderful to work with the wind propulsion. It's we don't have any competitor or other. We have only other player, but we play with and not against, and that it's nice.
Of course, because ship owner needs to pay this hydrogen and this
Yeah.
methanol, and now it will be very expensive because the supply chain which is not we didn't design yet the supply chain. So the thing is that with wind you don't pay for the only for the infrastructure.
Exactly, and the problem is like there's nothing more efficient than the current marine MGO marine fuel and the diesel, and there is nothing more efficient. So all the other options are more complicated and need to be to be clever to see how we can use the other techno.
Okay, very interesting. But just for huge vessels, I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
container vessel, the huge one, Maersk, CMS, CGM use. Is it like realistic to use? Because of course you need to have like this huge sails, and I think it's quite hard to implement. What do you think about it?
Right question and good question. On the way where the problem and the advantage, it's like the big container ship. There is nothing more efficient than this ship. Bigger is your ship, more efficient he is. So it's why, I will not show you the calculation now, but on the biggest container ship, uh, it's it's like the efficacy. It's like if you take it's efficient. Like if you take a small car, really small car like a Toyota Yaris or Renault Twingo. It's like if a Renault Twingo, you take the engine of the Renault Twingo, she can carry 20-foot containers with this engine. So it's more efficient than everything. And so for sure that this mega big container ship, it's more efficient than everything. But the world fleet, it's not only this mega container ship, and it's 90% or 95% of the worldwide fleet. It's all the other vessel. So you still have 95% of the market, market to develop that. And after that, you have many projects with some smallest container ship where it could be efficient and it could be reliable to use some wind, but not on all the vessel. Also for the fishing vessel, it's not always the best idea to use the wind or wind only.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it depends
Exactly.
the kind of vessels on.
Why?
Of course, it's like.
I am sure that you have some project with some containers, some ship containers using wind, and you have many, but it's not on the biggest ship. But after that, you have to go on all the secondary harbor. So the problem of the biggest container ship, it's like they go from Asia to Anvers, Rotterdam, and Le Havre, and they cannot go. They can only go in the world in just a few harbor. Where after that you need to continue to transfer containers to the final destination, and if you can avoid to use the truck, it's for sure it's good.
Of course. Yeah, sure. I want to ask you two last questions because the time is running very fast. You can see that we have a lot. We already said a lot.
Don't have anything to say, and
Yeah.
it's already a lot.
So I want to, now to talk about finance in an economical point of view. Do we have like some subsidies from the government, help? For example, a ship owner wants to implement wind energy.
One of other challenge, and we work a lot in Maritime Consulting on that, is how you can support a ship owner to finance new technology like that. So Europe helped a bit, and now the maritime transport will arrive in the global carbon market in Europe, and so will help. And all this money normally, as far we understand from European deputy, will help and will support the development of wind propulsion, especially. There is also some support from government, but not enough. And the problem is like in this kind of system, the technology risk, you have to the technology risk is supported by the startup who provide directly the technology, but the financial risk of this technology, it's supported by the ship owner and not by the startup. And this risk, it's a million euros risk, it's still very difficult to be supported by some government or some help from European Union or some others. So we are working to see how this financial risk of the innovation can be supported by authorities like Europe or the country directly as France or others.
Okay. In France, for example, more specifically,
Yeah,
do we
on
have
the way
some
where
support
the
or not?
BPI, it's a French public
Yeah.
investment bank or something like that, help a lot
Yes, I think so.
to support the debt you will have from a bank. So they support you directly with some help and some support, but the major one it's to guarantee the debt the bank will
Mm.
give you. So you have a loan with a bank, and this loan, and most of the time it's 70% of the cost of the project is supported by a loan from a bank, and this loan is guaranteed by the French investment bank, and so it's a huge help. At the end, it's the bank. The bank always win, but at least if it can help the project for wind propulsion to be developed, it's a good thing.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. And what about like collaboration, partnership? Because I think if we want to decarbonize this industry,
Yeah,
we need to collaborate.
exactly. The ecosystem with that, and you have a association EWSA. It's the International Windship Association or something like that. And where
Yeah.
everybody has to speak, like bank, investor, ship owner, wind propulsion technology startupper, and freight forwarder. It's a system and it's an ecosystem. And if you take only a part of this ecosystem and only part of this chain, you will not do anything. You need to have all the system together to have something reliable and something efficient to save some CO2 at the end. And yeah.
Very interesting to know this organization, for sure. Thank you very much, Christophe, to be part of this podcast episode. Thank you for listening and watching this episode. We are looking forward to bring you more insights from maritime professionals, experts, and students. Do not hesitate to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support means a lot to us and helps us to bring you more content.